evening, everyone, and welcome to Truth Behind the Truth. We're so happy that you guys joined us tonight. Thank you for your patience and waiting. We're a little bit late coming on tonight. You know, life tries to have challenges in the way, but it's okay. Hey, we're here for you, you know, and we're excited to be here. Thanks for tuning in. Want to welcome our YouTube family and our soon to be Instagram family. With those of you coming over from Instagram, thank you for being a part of us tonight as well. Yes. So we're excited and great tonight. We're still in the midst of entertaining our actors. Ron Rico was supposed to be with us this evening, but he is on set. Hey, doing what the actors got to do, y'all. Yeah. So he'll be coming with us in the very near future, you know, and doing his part, telling his story as well. But next week we have actor Sean Baker will be with us next week on our show, telling his story as well. So we're excited about that as well. Yeah. T-shirts. Woo. T-shirts. Okay, y'all slowing down on them orders on them T-shirts. Yes, all right. He's got his on. All right. Yeah. Please go to the Truth Behind the Truth page. You're gonna have to scroll down now, okay? Because there's a lot of good information there. But scroll down till you get to the T-shirt section. Mm-hmm. Click on it. It says PayPal. Yes. It'll take you right to the page. You can order your T-shirt. Order a bunch of them. It's almost Christmas time. Order 50 of them. You know, pass them out to the family. You know, everybody be walking around the house at Christmas dinner. Yeah. Okay, the Truth Behind the Truth zone.
Holidays are coming in, so anybody who needs a gift, an early gift, hey, we got it right here. Truth Behind the Truth.
Truth Behind the Truth. Absolutely.
What's the truth behind the Christmas season?
Okay.
About things. The truth behind the truth.
The truth behind the truth.
Yeah.
Definitely there. Yeah. So guys, we want to thank you for that. We want to thank you for all your likes and shares and how we're growing. We want to thank you for our UK family tuning into us. Yes. Yeah, we definitely want to do that as well. All right, let's get with it. You know what? You know, our it's no introduction needed, okay? Because he is one of our co-hosts. You know, he always jumps on board with us here or there every time we need him. You know, he don't like me calling him doctor, but you know, hey, what you could say? What is that other word for doctor? What's the other
scholar?
One? No, well, anyway, one of the names.
Well,
anyway,
you know what? To be honest with you,
yes.
He is magnificent.
Absolutely.
And listen. My mom wants your autograph too.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we just want to bring him on, of course. You know, our wonderful guest, as always, our great brother, Mr. Harold LaFall.
Yes. Harold.
What's up, baby? Happy Saturday to you. Happy Saturday.
Yeah. Always pleasure to see your great smile, my brother.
That's right.
Oh, makes us happy. Brings joy wherever you go. Love that, man. That's a good. Everybody don't have great smiles.
well, look, I appreciate you guys for inviting me to the party.
Oh, hey, you know, you're part of the family, man. The party's already happening when you got here. So we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, getting ready for that 10-day juice challenge.
Yeah, day 2. I got my juice right here. Day 2.
Day 2. You know what, man? You know,
got it here.
That's Ruber. What is that? What's in it? Ruber?
This is apple, beets, and carrots. ABC.
Oh my God, I'm sure. ABC. See, I would just be in love with that. When you know what? When we get offline, I got to get that recipe for that one, okay? Because you know that sounds like so divine. It probably tastes like tremendously good, doesn't it?
It's good. It's real good. I was surprised because it was the first time I'd really done this combination. It's like nice and sweet. I was like, even kids would like this. Get your ABCs: wow. Apple, beets, and carrots.
Apple, beets, and carrots. That's not them nasty beets, is it?
You know what? That's a wrong path to go down. If you try to be healthy, everything you gotta take it. You gotta take it.
Not the nasty beets, is it? Now, you know. So tell everybody again. I know the last time you were on, we started talking about the juice challenge, and we wanted to get everybody involved in that as much as possible. Go ahead and share again what's going on with it, and they can still go to the website and jump on, even though it may be 9.5 days for them, but but they can definitely get on board and and do it. It started at any point, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you know what happened is, for me, I did my first juice cleanse at the beginning of the pandemic. And I was a little skeptical, to be honest with you, because I had never done a juice cleanse. But I was really concerned that I wasn't going to be able to go to the gym. And I know that I like to eat a lot, and I'm a snacker. And I gained weight very easily. And so I ended up initially planning to do a 21-day juice fast or juice cleanse.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay.
and it ended up turning into a 30-day because here's what happened for me. About after the first week, I felt so amazing. I felt like I had this great burst of energy. I had this clarity. I was having all of these great ideas. My creativity was bubbling, and I felt so good, and which led me to do it for 30 days. But what happened was, after 30 days, I ended up losing more weight than I had anticipated.
Really?
I ended up losing like about 26 pounds in
Oh,
that
wow.
time.
In 30 days?
In 30 days, yeah.
Wow.
And I wasn't planning that. But what happened for me, I really realized how effective juicing is, because when you think about it, your body is getting all of these nutrients from the fruits and vegetables. And the fact
Yes.
is, most of us don't eat enough fruits and vegetables.
Right.
And
Okay. Gotcha.
so, you're fueling your body with all of those nutrients, and you're fueling it so much so that the body is able to do what it's intended to do, and that's to heal.
Okay.
Our
Okay.
bodies are designed to heal,
That's
but you got to
true.
feed it with the proper nutrients. And so,
That's true.
right now, we're doing a 10-day juice cleanse challenge that I put out to the community because I wanted to kind of educate people about the benefits of juicing and some of the things that they could expect. And because I
Right.
had such great results, I wanted to share that with everybody. And so
Gotcha.
we're on the second day of our 10-day juice cleanse. And
Okay.
I have to say, the first day, even for me, this is my third time doing a juice cleanse.
Yes.
I was a little kind of like, why am I doing this? I want to eat something.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah. So,
Wow.
but the second day, I'm feeling a lot better, and that's
Okay.
normal. Anytime you're doing something that you don't normally do, it's
Right.
gonna be the first part of it is gonna be a little challenging, and so you just got to make a commitment to do it, not think about it too much. And one of the things I think is really important when you're doing a juice cleanse is you got to find something to occupy your mind, because you
Gotcha.
will
Oh, good point. Good point.
yeah,
Okay.
because you will typically, if you don't have something to occupy you, you'll just be thinking about food all day. And so it's a
Yes.
good time to spend time journaling, writing, work on any projects that you've been putting off. Stay away from the TV as much as possible, because most of the commercials have food
Right.
commercials in them. So you want
Margaritas.
to right. So you want to stay away from things that might trigger you. So
Right.
yes, so we're in the second day of the cleanse, and anybody can join at any time. It's completely free, and yeah.
Well, touching about and our bodies always go through some, I'm gonna say, metamorphosis as we do something different, and it goes to the fact, well, okay, I started juicing today. Your body's like, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? Because I'm used to you having a chicken sandwich at this time of day.
I'm used to you eating all throughout the day, eating
Right.
whatever, and the body is kind of shocked. And so the body
Right.
the body and the mind are trying to get you to go to your normal pattern of eating.
Exactly.
We are creatures of habit.
So let me ask you this. So in the process of doing this, can you have this juice at any time throughout the day, or does it have to be set up regular around your normal meal schedule? So if you
No,
get hungry, can you just like go to and get another juice?
absolutely. Drink as
Okay.
much juice, and when you're on a juice cleanse, you drink as much juice as you want to drink.
Okay. Okay.
And the key is to drink as much, so that I encourage people to at least drink every 3 hours, even if you're
Okay.
not hungry, because
Okay.
you don't want to allow yourself to get hungry, because if you do, you're going to be tempted to go grab
Right.
something.
Do something else different. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So.
And
uh
and also, it's important during the cleanse to drink a lot of water. I encourage people to drink at least a gallon of water throughout the
Right.
day.
Right. I'm a strong opponent of not drinking water, even though I got a little bit of hair. But
Let me ask you another question, Harold. How do you feel about detox water? Now, I did this one time. I did the ginger root, I did the cucumber, I did the lemon, and I did the mint leaves. And what I did was I let it, I put all of that in a bottle or in a big old, let's just say a jar. And that's what I was drinking mostly through the week. Sometimes, if I kept it going, it was more than 3 weeks. Can you do that without the juicing, or does that go hand in hand? Do you also do that hand in hand with whatever you got going on? Those types of detox waters. Do Do those work or?
Those work, but when you're juicing, like what I'm doing right now, and with the what we put out in terms of the challenge, it's also a detox. It's
Okay.
just we're using fruits and vegetables because what fruits do to our body, it cleanses our body, and what the vegetables do, it restore and replenishes our body.
Okay.
And so it's detoxing us, our bodies, and because all of us are exposed to so many toxins in the air, in the food, what we put on our bodies, even some of the lotions and stuff, that all of that is toxins. So it's important that we, release those toxins through detoxifying our body.
Wow. Well, the one thing that I've noticed, I'm sure you probably noticed, is about being out here in California, because your breathing has to change from being in more of a desert environment, and actually, and that could be why the little cough I've been having too, because it's dusty. California is dusty. And then when you're not used to that dust being filtered through your nose and through your body and all that, it makes a difference. It really does not. And I noticed that I'm seeing that, as folks, you even though we have covered parking, but you put the car outside it like a dust box.
Right.
To hit it.
And to be honest with you, I can agree to you. When I moved to Atlanta, I noticed that the humidity level was high. I couldn't sometimes breathe in the morning. I worked an overnight job, come out the building as early as 8 o'clock in the morning. And in Atlanta, it's either humid or it's hot. Sometimes it's cold. But I think it was around the summertime around this point, and it was so hard to breathe. I said, I never felt like this before.
Humidity does that to you, though. I mean, it's really, because humidity does.
Here it doesn't.
It's deception. Well, because California doesn't have that much humidity anyway, so which is good.
That's true.
At the most, it's probably, I think the highest that we've experienced, is probably like 69, maybe 70. In humanity. Yeah, that's good, humanity. Yeah, but in humidity, so it's not, it's definitely not as bad, to that extent. Well, that's good, Harold. And we'll probably dig into a little bit more as we go on, throughout the night on the show. So let's get into the debate.
The debate. I want to say before you go in there, go to hey Melissa.
Hey Melissa.
Hey, how you doing? Okay, let's go into the debate.
Did you see the debate?
I did. Okay. I was waiting with bated breath, and I was nervous the whole time. I just wanted Joe Biden. I just wanted Joe Biden to just be focused, just to talk slowly, just to think. I was very nervous during that whole debate.
Okay. On edge. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Now, this is certainly not to give that orange person in the White House any props. Okay, but did I say that? Yeah, I'm going to say that.
I can't.
But I will have to give him credit, okay, just a little bit into credit, that he was a little bit more disciplined, even though he didn't want to be.
Right.
He was a little bit more disciplined. Presidential, no. Discipline, yes. Presidential, no. Okay.
Right.
And God willing, that we will not ever see him again, on that platform ever. Well, anyway, that was the last time. Whether if he, God forbid that he wins, okay, we will never see him on that platform again anyway. So that he'll never have to debate anybody ever again, because he can't run a president anymore. So that's a good thing. But hold on, I know you got a point.
Go ahead.
But I will say that to his slight credit, that I will give him that little bit of a window of a prop. Okay. Mm-hmm. As far as educating the American people, as far as having a plan for the American people, as far as owning up to nothing, we talked about it after. See, if he and his team, and maybe they'll hear this, but it's too late for that now, because he's gonna be gone in a couple of weeks anyway. But if he was smart enough, if he would have started out that debate and saying that, hey, I take full responsibility for what happened. I know he won't do it. Okay, but here's the thing. I take full responsibility, and let me apologize to you, the American citizen, for me not stepping up to the plate like I should have. You know what? But as your president, accept my apology. Here's the thing. You guys remember when Barack Obama made that particular mistake, and he came to the American people and said, I apologize? He was the first president in history that ever apologized. I don't remember what it was, but he apologized for some error that he had made. And people are like, wow. Can you imagine if if Trump would have done something like that, not to say it's going to sway people to vote, but the respect level of where people would have saw him would have been a lot more different. You know what I mean? If he would have apologized, say, I handled the COVID wrong. I'm sorry. You know, I looked at it from the wrong perspective, you know? But anyway, go ahead with your point.
Well, and you know, to be honest with you, that would be awesome if he was to admit that he was wrong. But we just know he's not cut from that cloth his background. His background is business. It is about numbers, it's about money, it's about wealth, it's about power, it's all about capitalism. And capitalism is not built on apologizing for what went wrong.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
That's a good point.
And, you know, that is the difference between him and Barack Obama. You're talking about a community leader, a senator, and a president.
I love this.
It's just that's the situation that we're in. It's like you going on your job and you're talking to whoever is your store manager or whoever is your boss. I don't like to use the term boss because it makes me feel like it makes me feel like I'm putting you on a perch that is, to be honest with you, on the level of God or whoever that you might believe in spiritually.
Right.
But I have never in my life, working whatever job that I've ever worked, heard anybody apologize for a mistake that was said or made. I'm sorry. I don't think Trump will ever apologize for the wrongs that he had, or whatever wrongs that, you know, that we know that he did wrong during this pandemic. He will never say it. He will never say it. I don't think they will. Even if they nail the coffin down, he will never admit apology for any wrongdoing for this country. I just say, you know, this debate, the debate that happened Thursday was built on low expectations from the very beginning.
Wow.
It was built on low expectations. Nobody did not go in watching the debate wanting to know more. They wanted to see a sideshow.
Right, okay.
A clown mess, a pie in the face type of situation. Even when people said that the mics would be muted, everybody kept saying, even before, that Trump is going to make it all about Trump. And I want to say, you know, as an American, that is to be expected on all spectrums of media these days. Not only the political realm, but in our celebrity and our religious realms and our music. Low expectations is the key, and it's just making the American culture, it's putting it on a decline, if that makes sense. And it's really sad to live in a time where there are less enthusiastic people and people who are not trying to, even at this time, how many days we have until the actual election?
9 days.
9 more days. We have people who are still undecided.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's absolutely sad. It is.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll make a point.
Go ahead, Harold.
No, D, I so agree with you. But here's the thing. He is a classic narcissist. So he could never his makeup to apologize or to admit anything that he's done wrong. And when I sat there and I listened to some of the things that he said, I was saddened for our whole country, because our kids see this. This man gets on stage and says that he's the least racist person. And so that means that means you on the spectrum of races, you are on that spectrum, but you're the least. And how did you come to that conclusion? How did you quantify that? And, you know, so the things that he just says with no basis in reality, and as a country, we've sat here and allow him to be in that position to do that. Is just very disappointing that's where we're at.
Right. I you know, and I just would have never thought, you know, in my short 29 years on this planet, that I would have ever, you know, seen anybody that has had on this level. You know, I mean, I'm just I think that it's feel like I'm in a dream and I haven't woken up yet.
There have been people.
You know,
there have been people.
But
there has been people in this culture has been a Trump. We have always had Trumps, but not on a presidential
Oh, okay,
Right.
yeah,
platform.
right,
It's either been a governor or it's been a mayor,
Oh,
or
yeah,
it might be a city council or a sheriff, but never on a presidential level that we have ever seen ignorance in my lifetime, nor in your lifetime, because everybody's been diplomatic in their ways of thinking. Probably in the background, you might have had, they might say some things, but it was never put out on the forefront.
Right.
Trump is, and that's one of the things I say that some American people find themselves attractive to Trump. Not only that, voting for Trump is a business transaction, but it's a dose of realism. Because you already know, people say, I would rather know that he's a racist and who I'm dealing with as a racist or a separatist or a misogynist. But at the end of the day, I know he's good for business.
Okay. So you're saying that which is true, they're willing to overlook all of the defaults to promote their business. Yes. But at the end of the day, the majority of people that vote for him are not business people anyway.
Right.
That's the sad part. You know, I mean, and at the end of the day, they if you want to put them at classism in a way, they're probably in a lower class than most people that are out there. They're not considered really the working class.
You're right.
You know, because you got people in rural areas, you know what I'm saying, that are just like allegiance to this man. Now, the only thing that I can say that really is what we see from them is that they are on the bandwagon of the misogynistic racial points that they bring. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because it massages their ideas. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it makes them feel good about being with them. Because how in the world could you ever stand up let's use Michigan as an example, stand on the Capitol with an AKA against the governor of the state?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So something about what this man says massages your idea of thinking. It makes you feel good. He gives you a warm fuzzy.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so, but here's the thing. If he's not holding himself accountable, he will never hold anybody else accountable.
Right.
So therefore, what led into my earlier point is that if he's not willing to apologize, but these people are never going to apologize, and they're still going to go right back to their pseudo bunkers, and their behaviors are still going to once he is voted out next week, that where are these people going to go? You see what I'm saying? Are they going to even go further into this deep idiotic way of thinking? You see what I'm saying? Because they so believe that this man is supposed to be over this country, and I just never have seen a group of people like this. I mean, what are your points about that, Eric?
Well, and one of the things that just bothers me is how we just allow him to get away with some of the things that he says. I just remember last year when he made fun of a disabled reporter and made fun of that disabled teenager. I'm like, it just blows my mind that that is allowed to happen and people still can support him with good conscience.
Right. I mean, again, I don't know where these people are coming from. But one other point, then we're going to go a quick commercial. And we're going to dig at some other stuff. But in the news here, matter of fact, was it in Texas? I think it was in Texas. Just want to bring it before we go to the commercial. That they were just interviewing people like the early voting and what have you, in the case may be, right? So they went around different ones, and they were saying, "Well, no, I will never vote for Trump," and then someone that wouldn't vote for Biden. So the news anchor person went to this particular woman. She's the older woman. Went to her and said, "Well, why are you voting for Donald Trump?" She said, "Well, I like what Donald Trump." She said, "Well," then she started giving out the list of things that he didn't do. And the woman said, "Well, I don't want to talk to you anymore because I don't want to hear what you have to say." So the reporter says, "Well, ma'am, you don't want to hear the truth."
Oh, wow.
Right.
You don't want to hear the truth. You're running away from the truth, but you'd rather walk away and believe a lie rather than stand and hear the truth. That's the truth behind the truth. You know what I mean? But see, people have gone to a point where they believe a lie rather than the truth. Now I'm gonna leave at this point before we go to a commercial. This is where the spiritual implications come in. We all agree with this. And I'm not a quote unquote Bible person to say in the last days, okay, because I don't, necessarily aspire to where they kind of put that. Mm-hmm. But in scripture where they bring it up, they say in the last days people will believe a lie before they will believe the truth.
That's true.
A lie will become more prevalent than they will believe the truth.
That's true. It's called not having critical thinking.
Well, absolutely true. That is
because at the end of the day, somebody can pass you the information, but it's up to you to do the research.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing as Americans, some of us, that we don't like to do.
Absolutely.
Do our own research, but
absolutely,
it is what it is.
So we're going to dig into. I want to talk about a little bit about religion tonight, Harold, and spirituality. Okay, but we're going to go just for a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a second. Okay, guys, we'll be back with you in just a few minutes.
All right.
And we're back, guys. Hey, thanks for tuning in to The Truth Behind the Truth tonight. We thank you guys for being here with us. Welcome to our YouTube family as well. All right. I'm sorry, getting tongue-tied here. Our YouTube family as well. Soon to be our Instagram family as well out there in the mix as well. All right. Guys, definitely go to the Truth Behind the Truth page. We need you to like,
and subscribe.
Share and subscribe. Go to the YouTube page and subscribe. Pass the word up there. Just click on the link, share it to your friends, get it all out there and above, in between, make sure it all happens, So we're excited about that. All right, well, we're back, guys. Hey, all right, and of course, our wonderful guest co-host, our brother Harold LaFall is with us tonight as well. All right, guys, we were digging it. First session, I enjoyed that. Talking about that
you're good, Harold. We understand. Listen, it is what it is. We're jet in and jet on
out. All good.
I told you I'm doing this juice cleanse. I had to make it.
All right.
I had to run.
It is what it is. Understandable. Hey, that's why we live. Okay. But anyway, But as it's closing out, we were talking about that person in the White House. So guys, all we can say in the conclusion of that is vote.
Is vote, but don't be afraid of politics. I'm so tired of Americans, and I'm sorry if I don't like to discuss.
Don't apologize.
No. Okay, I won't apologize, but I cannot stand when people say I don't like politics. I'm like, well, how are you supposed to survive?
Right.
How are we supposed to live without politics being in our lives? We have to realize politics play a part in everything that we do, the food that we eat, the jobs that we work at, the healthcare and the hospitals that we have to go to. I'm so tired of the excuses, and I think it's because of the last show that we did. People, I'm not gonna go into ranting, but I really don't understand when people say, I don't like politics, and I don't understand it. I don't want to talk about it, but you have to, because how are we supposed to collide with each other as a society? It doesn't make sense.
Well, I think the average time to cut you off. We'll go into our next episode, but the the common citizen really doesn't understand the
common
sense. The idea of how politics plays in your life every day, like you just said.
Yes.
And they. It's amazing how people just get wrapped up in the status quo of life, because as you said, they go to their jobs. They don't realize that their jobs has a political involvement. You know what I'm saying? From every level, because even management has a political involvement, but, and that's a lot to dissect, but it is. In every job you have, it's always politics involved.
But it's a tired excuse.
Right, exactly.
It's just one of those things that I cannot stand when we as a people have to collide or have to coexist with each other, that politics don't play a part.
Right.
Even not going to get on that subject, but we're going to move on.
Okay. All right.
We're going to move on.
So
we're going to move on. Next subject.
So let's dig in. So during the commercial break, we were just discussing, and of course, before we went on, and I really wanted to help. And okay, guys, this is not a Bible lesson. So we always want to say that and make that disclaimer out here. But you have three spiritual beings, okay, that are here that I'm always about, and which I love about my brother Harold, is that when he came up with the concept, I also use the term concept of "I am enough," evolved from spirituality. Because you have to recognize that. Same way with us in our efforts of the show is finding your authenticity. Right. Well, the I am enough transcends into the authenticity. You have to realize that I am enough so that you know that you are authentic. Okay. Right. But we have people that are stuck either getting to I am enough and they get there, but they never pursue the authenticity. Yes. You see what I'm saying? So I'd like to help them understand the fundamental practices of what spirituality was from.
No, I'm just trying to get off.
Oh, get off the subject.
Keep going. Okay. I'm sorry.
The spiritual implications of how it all is because of the synergy and the energy that you deal with as an individual. Okay, so that you can fully and I think as you said on previous shows was that you recognizing you are enough as a day-to-day process. Okay. Right. And you wake up, you put your feet flat on the floor, and you say that I'm number one. Hopefully, when you open your eyes, the first words come out of your mouth is grateful. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then I think from that particular point becomes thankful, because, grateful is the fact that you opened up. Thankful is that you did make it. You know what I'm saying? And then I would say put the feet on the floor. And then from that point, before you get to the mirror, because you don't know what you're going to look like when you look in the mirror. And then from that point, and say, I am enough for this day. You know what I'm saying? And then with that, you step into your authenticity. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? But I think that what happens, and I know this is a multi-question, but we'll dissect it in pieces here, is that what is it that you feel or we feel that people lose that day-to-day quest for that I am enough and that authenticity? And it has to do with the spirit, man. Okay, go ahead, Earl.
Right. So you know what? Science tells us that we have between 60 to 70,000 thoughts every day.
Right.
60 to 70,000. But over 90% of those thoughts are negative. And a lot of that has to do with programming that we experience and what we were exposed to growing up. Yes. And so most of the time, there are things that we say we want to do, but that programming that we are operating under keeps us bound and keeps us doing the same thing and have us thinking that we have to somehow earn our worthiness. Right. That's what our culture tells us. If you don't have this kind of bank account, if you don't look this way, then the culture has sent us the message that we are not enough.
Okay, can I? Okay, and I love that point, and I want you to continue in that, but you open up like a little window right there that wanted to step in just briefly. We have, and you said have been programmed in the culture now. Okay, for our quote unquote religious community. All right,
not only religious, but I get it. I see what you're saying, but it's not only religion, but it's society as a whole and religion that has been interjected in that society. Right. But keep going.
So my point is that the framework that we always come from, unfortunately, is a religious platform rather than a spiritual platform. And what happens is that what has been injected into humanity, and by and large, is these principles that really are not relevant to their life. And then what happens is you're always trying to achieve something, achieve to a place that you're already there.
Mm-hmm.
But you always wake up every morning thinking that you're less than. Okay,
Right.
And we talked about this on the previous show.
Yes, we did.
Our churches, synagogues, whatever, how places of whatever they are, there's a thing, and historically, the way that they were designed was to make you feel like you were less than automatically when you walked in. That's why they had the preacher, the reverend, the priest, whatever the case be, up on a platform. Okay, they were always raised high so that you could be thought of yourself being low. So hold on. So every word that would come, so you looking up to that, it's like you never felt worthy enough. So everything to you was passed down. Okay, in other words, so I'm down here, and and every word, and then on top of all of the messages that you got were things like you're unworthy, you're not in this place, you don't represent the same sexuality, and all the other listed issues that were classified as quote unquote sin. Okay, which is not true, but I'll touch on that in a minute. Go ahead with your point.
Melissa wrote, morals are built on people's perception of the Bible. They confuse judgment with teaching, which is a good point.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to say,
I'm going to touch on that, Melissa.
Religion in the church has turned itself into a business in a way. I mean, it's just the fact that, that, we're talking about spirituality, but let's talk about what we hear on a daily basis. You even can turn on your Facebook timeline and see people who sponsor entrepreneurship. Talking about, let me turn you in from nothing to a something, to an entrepreneur, to a business owner,
right?
Which I feel like it's just the same as you go into church and you're sitting down that pew and listening to that pastor say, let me turn you in from a sinner to a follower of whatever religion that you are trying to convey. It's just the scope of it. It's like it's in our culture's DNA to make you feel unworthy, like you say, if you don't have the finances, if you do not follow the rule book or whatever religion or business practice or whatever you're trying to follow, you automatically feel like you're not worthy,
right?
Because you are at the beginning stage, even though, Harold, you have said, at the end of the day, you are enough. If we were to teach our young cousins, nephews, children in school, regardless of where you're at in your curriculum. Yes, you do need help, but remember, you are enough to get up there.
Right.
Remember, you are able. You can do this.
Right.
But you have teachers in schools that will tell you, well, you're not making the grade, then you're on the bottom of the totem pole.
Right.
You ain't nothing. If you're not playing football, you ain't doing nothing.
Right.
It's just that mindset.
Right.
Outside of church, but keep going.
Right.
I'm sorry.
And some of it is not even spoken. Some of it is just experiences you have with folks who don't believe in you, who don't give you those accolades.
Right.
And one of the things, particularly in our community, I grew up not getting a lot of praise because I wasn't a great athlete and I wasn't a great student. So I never got the applause. And if you grew up in the African American community, if you weren't one of those and fall in one of those categories, you didn't get the affirmation, for whatever the gifts or talents you had. I've always been a creative and always had entrepreneurial dreams and aspirations, and that was never applauded. And so you feel like you're not enough. And oftentimes some of our parents have done this comparison things. Well, your brother is this, and why can't you be like your cousin, your brother? And what that does to a person, particularly a child, that tells you, I'm not enough. And so what happens often is we start wearing this mask. We start wearing a mask, trying to be something that we are not. And anytime you put on a mask and you are pretending to be something you're not, it kills your self-esteem because that's not who you are. That's not who you are.
Right. Good. Excellent point. You want to say something?
You know what? I wholeheartedly agree. The mask. The mask is what really kills us. Let's just say on a human basis. Let's not put race on top of it. As a human being, when you're feeling belittled or less than, you have to put on a defense mechanism, which is the mask. And I so wholeheartedly agree because all my life I have been putting on that mask in order to survive. I've had people tell me to my face, you're ignorant, you're from the country, you don't know what you're talking about. Went to school, went to college, had professors tell me this. Black professors, it is what it is. It's just the fact that you have to find some way of getting through that, getting past that. But boy, does it stays with you like a stain on a shirt.
Right.
It really stays on your heart. It stays on your mind. It stays on you until you think about, I hope, that's not the situation that I'm in, that, I hope I'm not that crazy or ignorant. Even though you might be fulfilling your dreams, there's still that, like you're still trying to I can't think like this.
Well, it unfortunately, like we said before, the measuring up process is just, we've all have had it somewhere in our lives, And I think you touched on it really strong a few weeks ago here when you said that everyone is always a key. But anyway, but we're suffering from post-traumatic syndrome.
Yeah.
Okay. In a sense where we were talking about this the other day, is that we're in a position in our lives that we are fighting that war. You know what I'm saying? And then once we have come from one war, we go to another, but we carry that post-traumatic syndrome from the previous war onto the onto the next chapter. And I think that one of the things that for the healing that needs to take place is that we've got to come to a conclusion or resolution to that chapter in our lives. You know what I'm saying? Put a period at the end of that, and then that sentence, and it says it can't go on any further. But we're always putting continuous where we put commas, so it's going to continuation of the thought. You know what I mean? And we put a pause there. We need to stop putting commas in our lives. You know what I'm saying? But put the period. And in that conversation, in that story, you know what I'm saying? And period. And only time we should look back on the other page is for a reference.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A reference but you look for a reference to make you have a better decision on your next chapter. But see, the problem is what we do is that we don't go back for the reference. We go back and we pull everything that was on the last page and try to integrate it with the other page. And then like a friend of mine used to say, what you come up with, you integrate on this, you come up with a Frankenstein monster. Because you got all these things that are trying to make it work, or trying to make it survive, So what you do with Frankenstein monster, you got to keep getting pieces of flesh, to keep it to survive. So you keep pulling from the dead, ready to try to make something new, to make something live, and you can't do that. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the end road to that. We've got to learn and accept that yesterday was yesterday.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Today is a different day, and tomorrow will be a different day, And if you want to get scriptural about it, just when Jesus said, take no thought for tomorrow, for the tomorrow will take care of itself. But we're so focused in on what and I'm sorry to cut you off. And just looking at what we think is success and accomplishments. We were talking about this the other day. Every day is an accomplishment. Every day is a success.
Yes.
Okay. But what happens is that we want to measure every day by what we think is supposed to be for our future. So we feel like that we have not succeeded.
That's
right.
You see what I'm saying? So, but you have, and you've succeeded, you have had success, and you were not a failure. Okay. You had succeeded at everything that was put before you that particular day. Okay. Otherwise, you would never face a challenge. You would never conquered it. But you never know your strength until it's dealing with it right there in front of your face. But we don't want to accept that at that particular point in time that the strength is already there. Because we always say, I don't have enough strength to go through it. Well, yeah, you do. Because you wouldn't be in it if the strength wasn't available automatically. Go ahead, Carrie.
No, one of the things that I always say is that everything that we've been through, all of us have been through trauma. All of us have been through difficult periods. But one of the things that's important to remember is that you've never not made it. You've never not made it. You've gone through difficult times. You've fallen. You got back up. You've fallen, and we don't give ourselves enough applause for that. Just for getting back up. Yeah, our praise, right? Because in our community, so often we are used to bonding over our trauma.
Yeah. Say that again. Say that one more time.
So we're so used to bonding over our trauma. What happened to us? what we don't have, what
Yes.
this person did to me, and it's so disempowering to us. Yeah, that may have happened to you, but that doesn't have to define you. You're not
Yes.
defined by that moment.
Yes.
We every day have an opportunity to recreate and define what's important, and to define how something will impact or affect us.
Absolutely. You touched on the point I was going to say a little earlier, and then we're going to go to a quick commercial if you don't have anything you want to add. You said create. The number one thing that in society, the problem why we have what we have when we're talking about the levels of power and all that, because see, man was created to create. Okay.
Oh, yes.
We were endowed with power. Okay. So what happens is that power in the wrong hands becomes mismanaged power. So what happens is that you have to find somebody that wants to be subservient to your power. So what happens is that people recognize that they are powerful in certain areas. So what they try to do is to minimize your power or to rob you of your power to make their power greater. Okay. But the thing about it is that going into every day, recognizing that here's the thing, recognizing that you are a creator of the creator. Okay. So you come into every day with creative power. Okay. You have power to change every bit of the atmosphere that you walk into. Okay.
Right.
Because of your very being, but it could be by the actions of your hands. It could be the words that are coming out of your mouth, to the embracing of somebody, whatever that is. Here's the thing. You got to have your, your download on. Okay. Your download on so you can hear where to direct your power. You see what I'm saying? Because you go in there unaware that you're going to be all over the place.
But you said the right thing. Power. That goes hand in hand in what's going on in our situation as a country. Us as citizens of this country do not know our power, nor have we ever been taught our power. Because if we knew our power, we wouldn't be contradicting our votes. We wouldn't be contradicting our critical thinking skills, and we wouldn't be contradicting things that are happening to us, like that old woman in Texas.
Yes, exactly.
Because she's contradicting her power. She doesn't know how to think for herself. She needs a Trump to think for her.
Wow.
It is what it is.
Keep going.
My generation keeps saying that I don't want to vote. I don't understand what voting does for people like me or does for a country. It does a lot when you take stock of your power.
Yes.
Just as it's easy for you to come on my job and tell me I will get you fired, it should be the same if you going to Washington and telling the president or telling the congressman or telling the Senate or telling the mayor that I have the power to vote you out of your job.
Yes.
And it's so sad that we as a people do not know our power.
Right, exactly. Well, it goes back to the post-traumatic, because anytime. See, it's like the quest of the day of the negative energy that's out there to rob you. And I don't play up until whatever other people call that, okay? But I'm gonna say the negative energy that's out there. It's quest every day to rob you of that power. You see what I'm saying? And it can come through an individual, or it can come through your own idealistic thinking. Because at the end of the day, we rob ourselves of our own power by what you started out in the beginning, not thinking that you're not enough and not knowing your authenticity. You rob yourself automatically of your power at that particular point. We got to go to another break. This is so good. But when we come back out, we're going to talk about necessarily the law of attraction. But there's a synergy in the law of attraction where we're going to talk about how bringing things out of you, and we'll talk about that after the commercial. Okay, and we'll same vein that we're in. Okay, guys, we'll be right back after this commercial.
Yes.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Truth Behind the Truth tonight. Again, welcome our YouTube family and our soon-to-be Instagram family. Make sure you guys are liking, sharing, subscribing, doing everything else involved. All right. We are having such a great combination. And of course, with our special co-host, as always, Dr. Hellefault. Doctor of Philosophy. I know I'm going to get you in trouble, but hey, if you stand in that office, brother, you stand in that office. You know?
Right.
Visiting for an honorary doctor degree. But anyway, so digging back into what we've been talking about in the vein of spirituality. So we're going to go into just basically about a little bit of the law of attraction. Okay. And some people say, you know, on certain religious side that's something that they don't want to talk about. And why, I don't know. I don't know why they say that, because, you know, it's a sad point that unfortunately, I'm just put it out there, Christian community, that, you know, you don't believe in the law of attraction. A lot of you, and I don't know what you're teaching, and I get it, and whole 9 yards. But here's the thing, all right, about the law of attraction. Okay, it's a law of what? Attraction. We are all attracted to something. Something is always attracted to us. Yes. So how can you, first of all, not believe in something that you're attracted to? Let's say in your relationship. Okay, let's break it down. Your relationship, be you married, whatever, dating, same gender love, whatever. You are what? Attracted to somebody. It's a principle law. It's a law that has been given by our Creator. Okay, that law has a broad perspective. Okay, and it's essential because it's the law of energy. Okay, and that energy reflects and it puts whatever that comes out of you, you are attracting it to you. You cannot avoid it at the end of the day.
Well, that's you. That's
well, but again, so many people fight you on the say when you the law of attraction. Number one is that you see what happened with that. I don't know, probably within the, and you probably may not remember this exactly, but Harold, you probably too. Probably what was it? Maybe like 20 years ago when The Secret came out. You remember the book, The Secret?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the Christian community thought it was like the biggest challenge for them because, you know, it was doing everything and it was dismissing their idea of who they think Jesus is. Okay, or taking the idea of robbing God of his power, you know, in essence. So they put, you know, this big challenge about it. But
it's ridiculous.
I'm listening. Again, I'm sorry. But it goes back to, and I'll finish my point, it goes back into what program thinking that these people have had for years, that thinking that they're coming from a biblical perspective, and really you're not. You're coming from a list of scriptures that are not applicable to your life. Okay. Now here's the thing. Let's look at it for what it's worth and for what it's. Okay. As I said earlier, you are the creation of the Creator. Okay. So you have the ability of the same thing that the Creator gave you. Okay. You don't want to recognize it for whatever reason. That's on you. Okay, but the same creative energy, the same verbal connotation that you say that God formed the earth by his words, you have the same verbal connotation to form your life by your words. Mm-hmm. We know that out of your words is your life changes. You know, you speak into existence. So if you're going to get up every morning and say that I am enough, then guess what? You're going to be enough for that day, for that week, or however your believing cycle is going to be for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. I am authentic. So I'm going to say every day, or when I'm not feeling authentic, I'm going to say what? I am authentic. Okay. So you're creating authenticity for your life. Okay. You know, so sometimes less said is best said. So in other words, if you cannot come out with a positive affirmation for your life, then shut up. Shut the hell up. Okay. And protect your own life. You see what I'm saying? So we're back into the point of the attraction point. Okay, so the law of attraction. All right. Can you get that quote that I gave you the other day that I sent you just a second in a text message? And then here I want you to talk about, and I got a quote that we're going to bring up, but I want you to talk about law of attraction real quick. You know.
Mm-hmm. So you know, when I was, I guess, in my late 20s. I was experiencing the law of attraction, but I didn't know that that's what it was. I had no name for it. And what happened for me was I had gotten this thought that I was going to get $1 million contract, you know, and I was going through bankruptcy. Nothing that was going on in my life indicated that that was going to be my reality. But I started believing that, and I didn't tell anybody. And 8 months after I got that first thought, I got a call that ended up being a $3 million contract.
Oh, wow.
And it was something that I didn't, it wasn't even anything that I was actively pursuing. It was something that I attracted because I believed it. And see, the thing about the law of attraction, it's a law. So it works whether or not you believe it or not.
Right, exactly.
So, you know, if you believe it or not, it still works. And so the key and what's important is to understand that and realize that we are attracting experiences into our lives. So if you are thinking and worrying about lack and poverty, well, guess what? That's what you're going to attract. That's what you're going to attract. And so, and that's why it becomes important to do, like you were saying earlier, when you say I'm authentic, say I am enough, because what you're doing is you are reprogramming your mind. Even if you don't believe it, if you say it enough, you know, a belief is a thought that you keep saying over and over again. And then you say it enough, you will believe it. That's like if somebody keeps telling you are smart, you are eventually going to believe it. But on the converse, if someone keeps telling you you're dumb and you will believe that and you will act accordingly.
Right.
And you will attract those experiences to you.
Absolutely.
And so whether or not you believe it or not, the law of attraction is working in your life.
Absolutely. 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 Do you have a point for going?
You know, when he was saying that, I was thinking about that song from The Wiz, "If You Believe."
Yes.
When Lena Horne was singing to Diana Ross that song, you know, that's so apparent. I don't understand when people are giving you messages like that, why we don't take it and run. When movies and music is giving you a message of self, believe in yourself.
Yes.
As I believe in you.
Right.
It's like one of those things that I don't understand why people just don't take and say, you know what, this is a moment for me to understand that if I believe that I can make it and I can do this, then I need to really hone deep into this message that it's given to me and run, go for it. I'm going to read this too.
There was a quote from another.
Go ahead.
And to your point, and it goes back to how we started up, which I love when we're all in the same vein. When you are programmed to think of yourself as lesser than, you know what I'm saying? How we start out, and all of the messages, the signals that have come to you, you don't approach it that way. When somebody says believe in yourself, you don't approach it that way because you can't believe in yourself when you're less than. You know what I mean? And because you don't feel like you're qualified to believe in yourself. You see what I'm saying? You don't feel quite. So I'm not qualified. Well, the person would say that they're not qualified to even believe in themselves. There's so many layers here that things, and I hate to go back to, that has been done to humanity as a disservice. You know, that people really are just out here. You know what I'm saying? And it's from my heart for humanity that people wake up. You know what I'm saying? Wake up. There's another word I want to say. I won't say that because I'm trying to be in that enlightening vein. But wake up, people. Wake up. You know, you are authentic. You are enough. Wake up. Okay, please. Okay, I know you want to say,
but that was the message in the movie The Wiz.
Exactly.
That was the message that was they were trying to get across to the audience. If you watch The Wiz, knowing that you're watching The Wizard of Oz, but the story that they written for Diana Ross in that movie was about a woman who wouldn't leave her mother and father's house, and wouldn't go after that job as a teacher. Because you remember in the beginning of the movie when they were in the kitchen and they were cleaning, and her mother was like, "Why won't you go out? Why won't you get out? You are a beautiful young girl. You can make it. Get away from what is making you comfortable and go for what you know you can do with it." And the dream, going to Oz, getting away from the house, but knowing that she could make it through that journey to see the wizard, and getting past that and making it home with a new, fresh idea and a new with new strength, running back into that place and saying, "I can do this." Now I've gotten the message. Well, I think a lot of people seem to forget that, that sense.
Well, the beauty of what you're saying there is that all of the characters that she followed were all in deficiencies that she was operating in.
Yes,
that's the deep side of Oz, and and how people just negate it from the original all the way. All of those things were in deficiencies that she was operating in. She had the lack of courage, she had the lack of heart, and she was a coward. Okay. You see what I'm saying? So all of those things are the basis of that particular story. So if you lack courage, you have to be your own wizard. You know what I'm saying? You have to be the one that's going to speak your power. You see what I'm saying? If you lack the heart to do it, you have to be the wizard for your power. You know what I'm saying? You have to find, because again, create. What does the wizard do? Create. Ooh, this is good.
But you know what? Go ahead.
So the wizard is the one that creates. Okay. So if you're lacking the courage, you have to do what? What does the wizard do? Create. Creates magic. So you have to create your courage. You see what I'm saying? So all of those points were the things that she was lacking. At the end of the day, she really found, like, and of course in the African American version, when she realized all she had, it then she could find her place in a place of home. A place of serenity. That's where it all pulls together at the end of the day. Yes. But go with your point, and I want to finish up with a couple things. Don't read that yet. Hang on.
I was about to say the wizard, and what you were explaining, because the wizard is the personification of what we see every day when we wake up, even on the president, our pastors, our managers, bosses, whatever you want to call them. Those are the personification of people behind the curtain, telling us how to do. And it goes hand in hand because of the fact that because of these people, we lack so much because we believe that the wizard will make things right. They kept saying, go to the wizard.
Right.
Go to the wizard. Right. Go to your pastor. Go to the president. Go to the senator. These people in our minds we have put on a pedestal because they are the voices behind the curtain.
Yes.
Right. That's good. That's good.
They are the voices behind the curtain.
Hey, girl, come on.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Voices behind the curtain, and it could be our parents too.
Yes,
people who keep reminding us our deficiencies and say, "Well, you probably need to go to this person. You need to go to that person." We don't need to go to that person. We can go within ourselves and push ourselves to our greater glory.
Absolutely. All right.
Right. Yeah, that's good. That was good, Pete. That was real good.
That's awesome. Yes. We're going to bring it to a close with this particular point, but we're talking about a lot, and so very eloquent with that you just said. This is the point. So I want everybody to understand about where you are with your attractive point. Okay, and the other day we were talking about this very same situation about attraction. The one thing, and I mentioned that I think we talked off camera today here about Romney Malcolm. He did a show that's on Let, but he was kind of going through these issues about life and where he was in his journey and all things like this, right? But he got to the point of relationships and how we attract things in us that reflect us. So, in other words, if something that you don't like in a person, or about a person, it's something that you don't like about yourself, or you need to be correcting that, about yourself, and that is in your boss, that is in your everyday life. So, I want to say to everybody that the challenges that you face are the challenges that you face within. Okay. The challenges you face are the challenges you face with it. So the day after that, I get these little emails, right? And Darla and I were talking about this the other day, and it's something somebody signed me up some time ago, but it's called A Message from God. But I wanted to read to you what it said. This was the day after, and I didn't. After we talked about this, is what came up on this particular email. Go ahead, Don.
Where do you want me to start?
Just the caption. You can say it today. That's fine.
Okay. Today, what angers you and another person is an unhealed aspect of yourself. If you had already resolved that particular issue, you would not be irritated by its reflection back to you. Okay, let me reread that one more time. Today, what angers you and another person is an unhealed aspect of yourself. If you had already resolved that particular issue, you would not be irritated by its reflection back to you.
Isn't that something? Read that one more time. Can you read it? Just slow it down. We're going to dissect it one more time. Go ahead.
What angers you in another person?
Okay. What angers you in another person
is an unhealed aspect of yourself.
Is an unhealed aspect of yourself. Go ahead.
If you had already resolved that particular issue.
If you have already resolved that particular issue within you, go ahead.
You would not be irritated by its reflection back to you.
You would not be irritated by its reflection back to you. That's the way to sum it up tonight. You got any other points to add to that here?
No, that's good. That's good. I mean, D just dropped the mic though. He just dropped the mic. because the point that he made that was so poignant that we often are looking for someone, the wizard, or some person, something to give us what we already have inside. We thinking someone else has the key to our lives, to our dreams, thinking if this person would do this for me or that person, when in reality, everything that we need, we already have within. Absolutely. We just got to believe.
Absolutely. That's why you put your feet flat on the floor every day and say, I am enough because I am authentic. Authentic. All right, guys. Hey, Harold, much love, brother. Guys, this band, he's a part of the Truth Behind the Truth team. Yeah. We always know that it's always going to be a great synergy, and I hope that you guys have really learned a lot tonight from us. Again, apply these things to your life, okay? Seriously. Apply these things to your life, because if you want to have a healthier life, it's number one of the juicing, the spirituality, knowing that you are North, knowing that you are authentic. It's very important, especially today in the time that we live in. Here we're living in a pandemic, but your mind doesn't have to live in a pandemic. Okay, you have to always see your mind already healed, past it. You've already got the vaccination already within you, okay? Because guess what? Number one, you have a relationship with your creator, you love yourself, and then you love humanity. You already got the vaccination already running within you. Okay. The healing is already there. Now you need to make steps now. All right. Now you got to keep your hands washed. You got to keep your face. You got to put that damn mask on. You got to do it all involved. But at the end of the day, you have the power within you to be able to be in control of what's going on around you. Guys, we wish you guys all the ultimate success.
One more thing. Okay, Melissa, hey, I want to say, Melissa, we have not forgotten you. Thank you for watching us, and thank you for just being a supportive viewer. I just want to say to all people, if we didn't name nameless, but I know Melissa has been with us from the very beginning.
Yes.
Thank you for watching us, but keep supporting us, keep subscribing to us. Thank you, Melissa. We've been watching. I've been reading your points, and you had made some awesome points tonight too. We're gonna have you on this show.
Yes,
come on. We're gonna have you. We're gonna have you.
Well, guys, remember next week, actor Sean Baker will be with us.
Yeah.
The actor's appointment, so we're looking to hear his truth behind the truth and his story as well. Our brother Harold, he'll be back with us in a few weeks.
Yeah.
I just love this energy, and like we've already definitely claimed that we will, and we put it in the atmosphere. We put a demand on it that this show will be shot from Sony Studios very soon.
Yeah.
So right here in LA, so we were excited about where we're going, and taking truth behind the truth to the world.
Yes.
And helping everyone find their authenticity. All right, guys, you have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again next week. Sorry for we apologize for the late start tonight, but we will be back at our normal times next week. All right, guys, have a great night, and get those t-shirts. Get those t-shirts. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm doing my conclusion here, but Harold, tell them once again about the juicing. Tell them about your products real quick, about your books, and get those. Okay.
They can find everything. Oh, there's the website, www.goodlivingnow.com. Everything is there.
Everything is there. Great.
Yes.
We've done it. We've done it again, Harold. We can't do a concert, so we do what? California Love. What we do? Were you in North Carolina? So we go. So one of them. Yes. Anyway, we'll talk soon, my brother. Thank you again for being as much love coming to you. All right.
All right. Appreciate it. All right. Okay.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.